Christina, is that a full Christmas tree?
I'm sorry?
Is that a full Christmas tree?
Sure is.
That's awesome. I like that. So that was.
It is fun. It's very sad.
Some of the ones that never get used.
Yeah, but I mean, I started putting them away.
There.
I had that happen to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Learn from experience. Because I like literally called Brad my dad. I was like, oh my God.
Feels silly now? Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff, right? Yeah. Tell you, they're on camera for this.
Okay, at 6:01 p.m. I'll call the regular board meeting in Jackson School District to order. This public notification meeting. You all join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Melissa.
Present.
Nick. Here. Bruce.
Present.
Dennis. Brittany.
Here.
Jeff. Here. Stacy. Is absent. Kay.
Present.
And myself is present. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed? Move.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Melissa. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Is there anyone registered for public comment? Okay, next is the consent agenda. For payment of vouchers.
I move to approve consent agenda as follows. Alright, listen.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Bruce, second by Jeff. All those in favor of the consent agenda approval, say aye.
Aye.
Nays, hearing none, motion carries. Support staff matters, I don't see anything listed. Motion to approve the minutes from the following meetings as printed. Special board meeting December 8th, 2025.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Bruce, second by Jeff. All those in favor of the motion to approve the special board meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Up next is information financial report. Laura.
In your packet or your financial statement ending November 30th, 2025. Landmark Credit Union, our annual account began with a balance of $165,752.43. And we had an ending balance of $46,968.74. Revenues were $22,326, and total expenses were $141,000. The Landmark Credit Union commercial account had a beginning balance of $25,162.53. Receipts were $1,727,843,788. We did receive our equalization aid payment at the end of November. It was scheduled to be December 1st payment. DPI sent me an email saying it would be deposited on December 1st, and it was deposited the last business day of November. So that's why we had big revenues in November. We did borrow from LGIP as well as our line of credit. That was a total of $600,000. We needed to borrow $50,000 at the end of November to make the payroll. Before that money came in for equalization aid, we were anticipating the payment to come in on December 1st. So we had to borrow $50,000 to make the payroll on November 28th. Didn't know the money was going to be there in the bank on November 28th. So the interest payment that we had to make on that was less than $200 for the couple of days that we had to borrow the $50,000. So that was total revenues of $2,327,843.78, and our disbursements were our accounts payable, $227,276.21. Our payrolls, including liabilities, were $667,583.71. For total expenses of $894,859.92, and our ending overall fund balance was $1,458,146.39. December 1st, we did make wire transfers over to LGIP of $1 million so we could get interest earnings on that money. So we made that immediately on Monday morning in December. So you'll see that activity next month. So then, if you're looking at the bottom, LGIP, the local government investment pool, the general account ended with $3,212.37. Debt service that's remaining at about $108,000, and our capital improvement project fund 46 is still at $936. So a total overall of $1,047,795.
Any questions for Laura? I see our student representative is absent tonight, so.
I think she just might be a little late.
Okay.
So we can go out of order here and
Okay. WASB, okay.
Oh, I don't have anything.
CISA 6, Bruce.
I'm not really making the meetings virtual at 9 AM, so I can't do that.
Okay. Administrative reports. The 2026-2027 middle high school course offerings.
all right. So in your packets and in the information, you'll see that there is a document for the course proposals for this next school year. If any of you were here last year, you would know that this is a much smaller list than it was last year, which is really nice. I did weed out a couple of things going in. I did have a couple of proposals that I did not feel were appropriate going into this next school year or necessary, especially given some staffing constraints we have and things like that. So the courses that I do have proposed for you are as follows. The first is a social media management course in our business education department. This course has been actually a couple of years in the making, but now that we really have a lot of energy and excitement about social media, you'll see all of our posts. We've got the Talking Trojans podcast. Those are kind of evolving to become this daily course that we can offer to our students. And I think it's going to be really important because there's kids who go to college and major in social media management, and this is a career for them. So it's just another area for us to offer something really cool for our students. So it's a year-long course open to students in 10th grade or higher, no prerequisites. Obviously I can read down all of the rationale, you have it in front of you as well. But students will learn how to effectively use social media to enhance a business's presence, performance, and connection with its audience. Throughout this course, they will explore key concepts such as branding, content planning, analytics, and platform selection. Students will develop comprehensive social media strategies tailored to specific goals and audiences, gaining hands-on experience in creating both written and visual content. Students will also contribute to the development and production of a school podcast, which you've already seen going already. Learning skills in scripting, interviewing, audio recording, and promotion. Collaborative work is emphasized as students engage with peers to brainstorm ideas, provide feedback, and refine digital products. Lots of really cool things here. There's a slight budgetary impact, but could be offset using Perkins funding. So Perkins is a grant that we receive each year for CTE, and this fits into CTE, and we can create a pathway for this and utilize some Perkins funding. So this year I wrote the Perkins grant funding, and we just got our allocation, our final allocation Friday? I'll forward. So we get a good chunk of money that's then split amongst our CTE department. So tech ed, agriculture, and business are the three areas that utilize it for a variety of different things. So we could, as long as it's approved when I submit those requests to the Perkins funding, we could utilize money for that. The next course that you'll see is a course in our art department. So this is AP Art and Design. Mrs. Carlson has been working really hard the last 2 years that she's been here now to build up a really strong art program. And now she has kids that are reaching a level where she wants to push them a little farther and offer them something that they really want. So this would be a year-long course open to students in grades 11th and higher, which is in line with our other AP courses. And the prerequisite would be that they have to pass 2 art classes and obtain instructor approval. Again, I won't read through all of these things for you. So the course description, think you're not an artist? Perfect, this class is for you. If you know Rachel, just imagine her reading this. AP Art Design is all about creativity, exploration, and discovering your own artistic voice. In this course, students will experiment with materials, play with ideas, push your imagination, and slowly build a body of work that reflects who you are and not what you think your artist should be. You'll learn how real artists work, trying things, messing up, discovering something cooler, and turning it into something meaningful. Open to a lot. By the end of the year, you'll have a polished AP portfolio with either 2D or 3D mediums, or a mix of both. It can be too. A stronger sense of creative confidence, and should be a really cool course. So there would be a $15 course fee per student, which is in line with our other course offerings that we have in the art department. That's a consumable fee that gets applied to any students that are enrolled in those courses, but no additional increase to the department budget for our overall. The last one I'm actually going to show you here first. You can get rid of the pre-algebra. There's a slight change in there. We're not going to do that one, but what we are going to be proposing is 8th grade Algebra 1. So this would be a year-long course. It would be offered as an elective in the middle school, so students in 8th grade would be able to take it as an elective in addition to 8th grade math. It would be every other day. It would be taught by one of our high school teachers. It's an opportunity for our students to open up advanced coursework for them later in high school, specifically geometry as a freshman, algebra 2 as a sophomore, and potentially some more AP classes as they get into their junior and senior year. We kind of toyed around with this a little bit, and I actually asked Mrs. Primo to join us. Mrs. Primo is one of our high school math teachers, and the math department has been meeting during our PD days during department time and talking about ways that we can kind of reach the other side of our students, and offering this as an opportunity for our 8th graders to push and challenge them a little bit. They won't get high school math credit because it's only every other day. But what we would do is create a test out at the end of the school year. Students that take this as an elective would have the opportunity to test out of Algebra 1 as a freshman. So they could go right into geometry as a freshman. You can see that course descriptions. And no budgetary impact for that course.
If they test out, does the credit then transfer?
We don't have it set up that way.
Okay.
No, because it's only offered every other day, so it's not a full year of instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are the high schoolers required to have 3 credits?
3 credits now.
So if a student started with geometry freshman year, but realized they were on a career path where they wouldn't need the most advanced, they aren't going to get stuck with taking the more advanced level of
Correct.
math than they would otherwise need.
Yep, and we have added some other courses. So Mrs. Primo teaches the occupational math class that they could take. So things like that would be really applicable to a student like that who wouldn't take an AP course, but would take occupational math.
Because I've seen it sort of pigeonhole students before.
Yep.
Where, they were advanced in the middle school level, and then it set them up where their senior year they were forced to take the highest level of math, and it's like sort of messed up their GPA.
They
When
hit Algebra 2 and pre-calc comes and they're not ready for pre-calc,
Yeah.
which is perfectly fine.
So as long
But
as
if there's
there's
no other class for them to take to get their 3rd credit,
We have college algebra also, which is dual credit that's kind of an extension of Algebra 2. So that's another option for them after Algebra 2.
So we've already kind of done the other work
Yeah.
to have the options, and now we're just offering a chance to kind of change some of the trajectory of the student is needing to be pushed a little bit more in their 8th grade year without creating a second class, which is why we had some really good conversations last week and this week, and I talked with Rose and the math department about not having the pre-algebra class in addition to this, Because then it feels like you're kind of funneling kids into two different areas as opposed to offering this as an elective. Right now, Rose met with our middle school math teachers, and we're looking at about 17 or 18 kids that are in the 7th grade currently that could benefit from this class next year. And that's right now. I mean, we still have a whole another semester of math to get through, so that could change too. But we've got a strong, it's almost 50% of that class that could benefit from.
So it's every other day
Correct.
during their math period?
No, because it's in addition to 8th grade math.
So what class would they not be taking because of
This would be either 7th or 8th hour during the elective periods in the middle school. So 7th and 8th hour run on an A-B schedule in the middle school, and that's where their electives are. So, and as you know, and I think we've talked about too, our middle school students don't have a lot of elective opportunities. So we have students in the middle school who have 2 study halls. And so trying to find creative ways to challenge our students and offer some additional electives.
So then the follow-up question though is, okay, so you have a teacher teaching that, so they're only teaching every other day.
Not necessarily. It could be 7th hour every day if we split the kids into 2 sections, depending on the other electives that they choose. So they might need to take it, if we say that this is going to happen, it's going to be how Power School figures it out with the least number of.
So it could be potentially that they're just teaching the same class
Twice.
twice.
Yep.
But if there's not enough kids,
Then
like
it could
let's
be.
say there's only 10 kids out of that
Yep.
17.
Yep. So what would probably happen then is that teacher would then pick up an ARP in the middle school on that other day. Study hall for anybody who's building to kind of.
So
Because right now too, we have teachers in the middle school who are on, overloads because they're teaching full days and still need their prep and duty time. And so we have some teachers who have double that time, and it would take that back for one day.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So we have some middle school teachers, because we lost a staff member in the middle school, so the number of periods that teachers are teaching are more.
Okay.
So if we utilized this teacher, which we would probably end up being Miss Fink, just because of how schedules are built, if it would end up only being one section, so say it was only 7A, 7B, so that she still had a full schedule, would become an ARP. So she would take a middle school study hall.
And this goes to my question for all 3 classes, is what, are we getting rid of classes then?
No, but
what is Miss Fink not going to teach teach this?
so right now, Miss Fink's schedule is interesting just for the fact because she teaches academic decathlon. That's a 1 semester course, so she has an open 2nd semester. What it might do is adjust whether or not she has a study hall or a lunch duty or something like that. But also, it's important to remember that when we build the schedules, they're all built off of student interest. So just because we
Right.
have all of those classes doesn't mean we
Right.
will run the same number of
No, I know
sections
that.
or run all of those classes that are currently being offered.
Well, like Miss Bodo currently is full with business classes.
Yep.
You throw this on, it has the potential to make something else not.
Yeah, and I don't know what that
It's gonna
would-
go-
Yeah, I don't know what that is because I would look, like I do every year, I'd look at the numbers and say, only 4 kids signed up for this class, but we've got 8 kids signed up for this class.
Okay.
So do we, make that cut? And I talked with the teachers at that time. I mean,
We're
Rose and I
not
have
running
spent,
pre-calculus
Yep.
this year because we only had 4 kids, so,
And
yeah,
because you didn't have 8th grade algebra 1.
exactly, right, and so,
Okay, I'm glad that this realization happened,
yep,
because I don't want to say I told you so, but I knew this would happen.
yep. And so we're trying to fix this because
I'm always going to double up
we
in math.
pushed some kids ahead into calculus
Right.
because this is gonna be the last year I think calculus is gonna run until this kind of catches
Right.
up. So,
Because you
We need
killed
to-
your kids advancing in math
right,
by not giving them advanced math.
right, yep. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to,
I like it. I'm not saying it's bad. I like
Yep.
the creative way to do it. But,
yeah.
um, yeah.
That's what I got for course proposals.
Sorry, I didn't mean to really.
I was
It
ready
was
for it
just-
first.
It is just like, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago that we got rid of algebra 1 in 8th grade, so.
There's not been algebra 1 in 8th grade since I've been.
Okay, so maybe it was 3 years.
Yeah.
It's It's not been very long. Well, I'll
Must have been
say,
right before we
It
started.
was since.
I was
the
on
new
the board
curriculum.
when it happened, and this is my third year on the board. So
But they might have, yeah, maybe,
it must have been right before you came.
right before I came.
Yes.
Yeah, my
That was
understanding is that it was
questionable.
with the new curriculum, when the new curriculum came,
But no, it
it didn't allow
takes a
for
very
that.
special kid
It does.
to take 2 math classes at the same time. A very special kid. There's
Yes.
maybe 10 kids in my 18 years of teaching that I would tell to do that. It's awesome. So, thank you for making this change.
It's much easier, I think, to push them at this level than sophomore year when there's more electives and there's more offerings for them, and then they have to miss out on more, you know? Because nobody wants to take 2 math classes if then they can't take social media management or, you know, something like that.
100%.
So I just want to have one more question.
Yeah.
It's not about the math class.
Okay.
If we go back up to the social media management,
Mhm.
the additional potential budgetary impact, while I know could be the Perkins funding, could you help me understand what the line items to that is? Is that a software program that we would need in order to support that, or what's the cost?
I'm not sure. My assumption is like equipment more than anything. The software is all stuff that we already have built in, like they're using iMovie to edit the videos for the podcast and things. But like they're using a green screen right now, and I feel like they're borrowing a green screen from the library right now. No, they have their own. Okay, so it would be equipment more, microphones, accessories for the.
Things that wouldn't necessarily be renewable budgetary impacts.
Correct.
Once we started the class
Correct.
and it was up and running.
Yep.
It wouldn't be a repetitive cost every year to.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? Any other administrative reports?
Kentucky Elementary, you're all good. We have a reading corps program in our elementary, which we've had for a while. And however, I wanted you to know that the 2 tutors that we have in that program, they are not district employees. They come from AmeriCorps and placed here. But one of them has resigned and the other one has reduced their time to 50%. So that is going to have an impact on the number of students that will be seen for reading intervention. That particular program has specific interventions that they train their tutors on. And for the most part, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So we had approximately 40 students that were seeing a reading corps tutor, and it will be dropped down to 15 after Christmas break. So we're working on that piece of it, and so trying really hard to make sure that we're picking up the pieces of what we can. But I want you to know that as well. We also, when we come back from break, we'll start doing the mid-year assessments to check in on progress for our students for reading and math. Our goals for our students that our teachers are working on this year has been fluency for math and for reading. And so we have a number of different things that we've been working on towards that. And so I'm interested to see, we have some data on the progress monitoring side, but now when looking large scale, I'm interested to see if the things that we put in place are showing, some fruitful things. I wanted you to know that we continue to highlight at the idea of SEL at recess. I think recess is one of the most important parts of an elementary student's school day. It's where they get to apply all of those SEL skills. But I will say that it would be really great if I worked in a place where we didn't have all these seasons, I really don't like snow anyway, but I really don't like snow at recess. But let me tell you, kids love it. So just so you know, we have rules at our, for our, when they can go outside so that they're outside. But what happens here, we get lots of snow here, but when it like melts and then freezes and melts and freezes, it becomes ice chunks up there. And so our rules are that snow stays on the ground or you build with it, and it never goes flying through the air. But many of us probably can remember lots of times where we're throwing snow at our family members. I used to get very upset with my husband, who would throw snow at my children nonstop, all the time. And then I would say, yeah, now we're gonna get a phone call from their school because they're gonna start calling. Anyways, so I share that with you because it becomes a problem. So just FYI. And then we also have, to go along with that, we have a lot of our families that are looking to use the Purple Purpose Room, and so I put it into the next newsletter in case there was people that were like had old stuff at their house that doesn't fit their children anymore that want to donate. Snow pants and boots are always needed, along with gloves. We have lots and lots of hats, but they lose, and kids don't care what they look like, they don't even care if they match as long as one goes on each hand. Like, they really don't care. But we have kids that like rip them, or they're too big, or they're too small, and then if you've tried to go buy anything at a store recently, it's very hard to find them even. So, just a quick plug for that. That's all I got.
She actually set me up beautifully. On the people services side of my role, being December, the community has really stepped up. I've been spending a lot of time working and coordinating with different groups. A Child Smiles dropped off a significant amount of resources for our kids. Their support comes in gift cards that goes to families. The Dodge County Toy Bank had pickup on Sunday, and that supported a significant amount of our families. Shopper Compasses has weekend, we had kids out there shopping. So the community has just stepped up across the board to support our families, and there's a lot of really great organizations out there that reach out and help support. We've helped about 200 kids.
Oh, go ahead.
That's it. We've helped about 200 kids between all of us that have had access.
We'll jump back up to student representative report.
Have to skip me.
Oh.
I'm gonna remember that, Abby.
I'll start with our concerts. So all of our Dodson students did an amazing job at their concerts. We had our elementary students perform their songs, and our middle and high school band and choir students performed their songs that spread the Christmas spirit. Throughout the high school, we're doing a door decorating contest, so each teacher and their advisor is able to decorate their door in any way that they choose. Thursday, the best door will win a prize. And then this week, we also have dress-up days. Today was Pajama Day, and then we also have holidays in Hawaii, Red versus Green Day, dress up as your favorite Christmas character, and Ugly Sweater Day. And then our Principals Advisory Council, adding on to some of our Christmas fun. Our Principals Advisory Council focus on how we can get more students involved in our school. So we decided to start off Christmas break in a fun way. We're doing a Christmas-themed assembly during our IED on Thursday. This will consist of games and fun activities for our high school student classes to compete against one another. And that's like a point system, basically.
That'll be me.
Yeah. Our business leadership class has started evolving our podcast, and I think our third episode dropped or something like that. And then we've added guest speakers, and Mr. Gisho is in his own segment as well. And our class is trying to work on how to make our podcast better and create a better flow to kind of create like a conversation feel, we called it. And then at the elementary level, our 5th graders are putting on their annual play for their parents in Clearview residence next week. Our 2nd graders are visiting the Milwaukee Museum, updated today. And then our students have been working hard on reading, writing, and math, just like each month. During December, they often meet with their reading buddies as well. This means that 2 classrooms team up, and students of different age levels to do a reading activity with one another. This builds community, but also allows our students to shine with other students from within the school.
Okay, thank you.
Just wanted to add, having attended the musical events here this past week, like Abby had said, there was just a great deal of support that came through our doors. I mean, the multipurpose room was just packed to the gills with parents, caregivers, grandparents, community members, just supporting our students and the programs that were being offered. So it was really a great event each night that it was held.
Any board members have any questions for the administrative staff? Otherwise, we'll move on to new business.
And Jenny, I do have one quick question. So the reading core was in addition to reading intervention? Were they the same, like, were there overlap, or is this a
There was
different?
some overlap, but they worked on different skills.
Okay.
So the reading core often would work on some of the decoding skills and very minute skills, because that's their training versus our reading teachers have been much more well-rounded.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, new business, approved proposed 2026-2027 middle high school course offerings. For a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Alyssa. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Up next, we got future agenda items, auditor's report, management letter for period ending June 30th, 2025, summer school 2026, approved number of open enrollment spaces for 2026-2027, and then liability and property insurance rules. We got advanced meeting dates, December 22nd through January 2nd, winter break. January 19th, Finance Committee meeting at 5:45 and regular board meeting at 6:35 p.m. And then on January 21st, student early release teacher reported by.
Sorry, I have a question. Are we going to have another date in January where we're discussing the question for the referendum, or is that going to be at the next?
I think we can plan at the moment for the 19th, but if we need to have another meeting, we certainly can do that. If we want to put something on and cancel it later, we certainly can do that now.
I don't care, I just didn't know if the 19th gave us enough time to get everything filed and taken care of, and I
Yeah,
don't want to miss the deadline, so.
yeah, I would say maybe it makes sense to put something on the calendar just so we have something, if that works with people, and then if need be, we can cancel later. So our regular meeting then would essentially be on the 19th, and then we could have a special meeting before that.
Well, let's try not to have a special meeting.
I'm not advocating for it.
No, I'm just saying that.
We don't
Let's make sure
have to
that,
discuss our question and be like, oh, we're going to make changes, so now it's got to go back to lawyers, and then it's got to come back to us, and then we're all of a sudden right up against a deadline. That's just.
no, I just meant that we needed to make sure we were ready for it so that wasn't disputing.
Oh,
what you
right.
said. Okay, up next is contemplated call for a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1 parent C to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee or which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibilities specifically for the purpose of discussing, considering, and taking action if appropriate regarding possible reduction in staff for the 2026-2027 school year. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Moved. Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Nick to move into closed session. Roll call vote. Alyssa.
Yes.
Ned.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
certified